Wow, My Hero Academia, Season 4, Episode 13, Infinite 100%. This was amazing. This was a great episode, but it was, like, different than the manga. Like, there's a lot of liberties that the anime has taken in this whole sequence, and I'll get into that, but first, let's just break down Izuku or Deku at 100% using One For All, because, yes, this was, like, the moment that we've all been waiting for. This has been like in the manga for a couple years now, and it was an amazing sequence in the manga, and they did it pretty good in the anime as well. So let's get into it. So obviously he's using 100% of One For All, which is incredible power. I mean, it goes back to a flashback in the series just to show you like the time when he actually used it, when he punched that gigantic, robot in the face from the entrance exam, the 0-point robot, the one that you're not supposed to fight, and it completely like shredded his arm. Like he still has damage to his arm to this day from using that move. But now that he has Eri with him, this doesn't matter to him anymore, because it's, at least in the anime, finally like confirmed and revealed what her quirk is exactly, and it's a rewind quirk. She just rewinds like time, but not like time itself. She can't like divert like everything within time and space backwards, but just like an individual, as far as we know. Maybe she could do it to objects as well, but she can revert the time of an individual, and she could just keep sending you back to a previous state of what you were, regardless of like what's going on with you. Like it's absurdly powerful quirk, and this is basically why Eri is a part of this series. She can keep rewinding Izuku back to a state before he is injured. So like when he uses 100%, and obviously his body at this current point in time cannot handle that much power. He can barely handle 20%. As we saw, that was like his max that he used like 2 episodes or 1 episode ago. So now that he's using 100%, obviously if he didn't have Eri, he would just be a broken, like, bloody bag of dusty bones or something. But her quirk, which is just on full blast right now, like, you see her horn, like, glowing, and it has, like, the ethereal, like, aura coming off of it. That's because it's just constantly active. And she barely has control over it, but considering that, like, this moment in time, she's, like, connected with Izuku emotionally, and she's finally been able to, like, let go of the inherent fear that Overhaul had planted into her. So now she's just, like, fully letting it go, and she's just going with it. She's somehow able to, like, keep the quirk at, like, a steady level so that she's not rewinding Izuku too much, because obviously we saw, like, she killed her dad because she rewinded him back to nothingness. There's, like, a joke that she reverted her dad back to semen, which is also a possibility, but it's never really said or anything like that. And then, obviously, Overhaul says that if it can be used to an application to, like, revert you back to a monkey, even though I've talked to somebody about this and said that's not necessarily how evolution works. But regardless, she's using it in small increments. So you can kind of relate this to how Night Eye was using his quirk in the previous episode, how he's saying, like, if I only go 1 second into the future using my foresight quirk, then I can fight Overhaul, accordingly, and I don't have to look too far into the future and see what I don't want to see. So she's kind of using it, like, in short intervals. She's only sending him back, like, I don't know, a couple seconds at a time, instead of just full-blown reverting him back as far as he can go. And that way, he's just constantly being healed perpetually. So he can just freely use 100% of One For All. This is basically hacks. He's hacking real life using Eri as the ability to just become like a mini All Might. Like, obviously you see how powerful he is. He's untouchable. Like, when he goes 100%, One For All, full cowling, there's really no one that can touch him at this moment in time in the series that we know of. Like, I guess he's the strongest in the verse, because obviously All Might's done, One For All, All For One is done, and then after that, we don't really know of anyone that can touch this level of power. In the manga, this is a much shorter fight. Like, he kicks Overhaul up into the air, does, like, the machine gun Gatling punch to him, and then it's done. And actually, there's actually an extended thing in the manga that we don't see in the anime. Like, he, like, shoulder throws Overhaul into the ground after he punches him in the face. Yeah, but we don't get that in the anime. He kind of just punches him and then he's done after that. Maybe they'll show it in the next episode, but yeah, he just destroys him. Like, there's nothing that Overhaul can do to be able to compete with this, like, unfair level of power, especially when he has the Eri hacks backing him. So that's it. That's 100% of One For All. He's using the full power that he is capable of using. This doesn't mean that this is like as strong as All Might was, but not even as strong. Maybe this was as strong as the All Might that we saw kind of around the USJ. Maybe something like that. But he's definitely not as strong as All Might in his prime, and definitely not as strong as All For One, just as a quirk. This is as strong as Izuku can become using 100% of One For All at this moment in time. So I just wanted to spell that. And if you're wondering, like, how did Overhaul, like, survive taking this punch to the face? This 100%, like, Izuku serious punch to the face without, like, exploding or just dying. Well, your guess is as good as mine, but we can try to break it down. We're going to have to suspend our disbelief, of course, but it's one of, like, few things. So either Izuku was holding back just enough to not blow his head off. And let me just put it out there that Overhaul obviously has an enhanced durability, because that's just what happens to him when he uses the quirk and, like, adds things to, like, supplement his body, the way that he becomes, like, this big hulking monster. Or just Eri's rewind quirk is just affecting everything in her vicinity. So she's constantly rewinding Izuku, but since they're close to Overhaul at this point, she's rewinding Overhaul constantly so that his head doesn't explode and that he's not taking, like, deafening damage from taking this punch. Maybe that's an explanation for it, but also it's like Izuku, you know, he can't just explode Overhaul's head. That's not the type of series that this is. But still, like, this is some crazy power that he's taking here. And also, just let me point out that, like, the fight sequence that we see in the air, it's extended in the anime, and there are some liberties taking with the direction here. Because, like, when Overhaul, like, splits apart and then becomes, like, the giant arms thing, we only see one of those giant arms in the manga. And after that, he kind of just gets, he goes back into, like, his regular, like, multi-arm beast form. But then, and then he gets machine gun punched. But then, like, the whole thing where he's more humanoid and he has, like, the huge arms and legs, that's, like, all anime stuff. As well as, like, some of the continuity errors that come with this, which is very interesting because, like, after Izuku, like, does the final punch to his face, it looks like he knocks him out of his Hulk form. And it's just, like, Overhaul's base body. And then when he hits the ground, then all of a sudden he's back into the multiple, you know, crazy monster form that he's in. So that was strange that they did that. Not a big deal. It doesn't matter. Mistakes do happen, but it is apparent that it happened. But yeah, this was incredible. The Sakuga in that one sequence was amazing. Like when you see Izuku coming over Overhaul with like that darkness on his face, and the eyes are lit up, and you see Eri's hair like behind him, like it looks crazy. It looks like so cool. This isn't in the manga either. This was a liberty taken by the animation department. Very well done. Very nice touch. I can't get over how much this sequence was awesome. I hope it puts more respect on My Hero's name, because it's unfortunately like a really polarizing series, and I think it gets undeserved criticism and flack. A lot of it is just people just wanting to be fans just because they want to jump on a train of hate. I don't know, it's whatever. But so that's pretty much it for the explanation review and me just fanboying over this. If you liked it, guys, please give it a like and let me know what you thought about this. What do you think about the differences between the manga and the anime? Did you like it? Do you not like it? It's whatever. But if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. I also have a Patreon. Gives you access to a weekly Q&A. And also just have a great day.